If you're ready for a story, take a seat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, make your hands all nice and neat. If you're ready for a story, take a seat. And now it's time for story time. Today's stories are all about just having a bad day or a day that you don't expect that you are going to have. So our story today is called The Secret Science Project That Almost Ate the School. It is read with permission by Simon & Schuster Publishing. It's written by Judy and the pictures are by Stephen Gamble. The Secret Science Project That Almost Ate the School. I was grumpy, I was grouchy, I was slouching in my chair. I was thinking grim and gloomy thoughts about the science fair. Miranda bragged her rocket ship could travel to the moon. Alexander taught his hamster how to sing a tune. The ants on Mary's ant farm were growing corn and peas, and Kevin Fink was on the brink of curing a disease. Miss Fidget looked me in the eye. I wish that I could hide. What will your project be, she asked. It's secret, I replied. The secret was I didn't really have a project yet. I needed an experiment that no one would forget. So I stayed up late and found a great one on the internet. A science project fully guaranteed to win first prize. A substance so amazing judges won't believe their eyes. A mutant yeast with just a piece of dragon DNA. Professor Swami Super Slime. Order yours today. I sent the money instantly. Then early Friday morning, a box appeared. It looked so weird with big green letters. Your super slime is sensitive, so handle it with care. Keep it safe inside this box until the science fair. Then feed it sugar till it swells 1,000 times in mass. Stand back as it erupts into a harmless cloud of gas. I popped the lid and gave the slime a teeny tiny poke. It started getting bigger. It growled and blew off smoke. It catapulted from the box and splattered on the floor, precisely as Sir Scratch-a-Lot stepped through the kitty door. And plopped his paws in mutant muck, he rudely hissed and spat, Yikes, the secret science project ate my kitty cats! Is that your silly science project? Asked my sister Kate. Stop, I said, you'll hurt its feelings. Oops, it was too late. The slime began to spin around, it rose into the air, and when it roared and hit the floor, my sister wasn't there. Just then I heard my father's voice. What's going on in there? Something in that bedroom smells like moldy underwear. My science project's sensitive, I warned. Don't make it mad. There wasn't time to stop the crime. The slime ingested Dad. The science project looked at me. I thought I saw it drool. I tried to run away, but yikes, it followed me to school. Mrs. Fidget shouted, Ew, what is that big disgusting creature? The slime stopped short and gave a snort and ate my third grade teacher. It grew larger by the minute as it swallowed Alexander and incorporated Kevin Fink and Mary and Miranda. As the slime was busy slurping up the last of Mary's ants, I remembered the instructions in the pocket of my pants. Sugar, I commanded, feed that hungry slime some sweets. Kids reached in their backpacks, soon the air was filled with treats. As donuts flew and cookies too and candy bars and gum, the bloated blob was quick to gobble every single crumb. I shook a can of soda pop and sprayed the growing slime till I could tell that it had swelled at least 1,000 times. Now everybody hide, I screamed. Ka-flash, ka-flam, ka-flew. It vanished in a stupefying burst of CO2. When the dust had cleared away, my dad was up a tree. My teacher dangled from the roof. We all were on TV. So Scratch-a-Lot, I called and called, what happened to my cat? He's on your head, my sister said, pretending he's a hat. My project didn't win first prize, and that was fair, I guess. Miss Fidget kept me after school to clean up all the mess, and underneath the cookie bits and sugary debris, I saw a goopy glob of slime, and yikes, it winked at me. The end. Our second story today is about someone who has a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Even worse than the last story with the super slimy project. So, our second story is called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. It's also read with permission by Simon & Schuster Publishing. It's written by Judith Viorst and it's illustrated by Ray Cruz. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard. And by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car in his breakfast cereal box. And Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Miss Dickens liked Paul's picture of a sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moya was his next best friend and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school my mom took us all to the dentist and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked my dad up at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on the desk, and I was careful as could be, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that, even in Australia. Now, we just read some stories about some kids who had some kind of bad days, and I'll bet you've had a bad day before. So what I want to know for the question of the day is, when you have a bad day, where do you like to go? Do you like to go to Grandma's house, your tree house, your bedroom, or even Australia? So tell me where you'd like to go when you have a bad day. You can answer down below, and we'll enter your name to win our super fabulous back-to-school prize bag that we'll be drawing later this month. Today we're going to have some science fun. Now in our story, The Secret Science Project That Almost Ate the School, she orders some slime on the internet. So we're going to make some slime. Now, parents, don't worry. This isn't the ooey gooey sticky kind that you buy at the store. It's actually kind of clean and clean up. It gets kind of powdery. So you need two things to make this. You need cornstarch, and most of you probably have this in your pantry, and you don't need a lot. You can make a lot, but you just need a little for this project. Now, if you don't have any, you can buy this for about $1 at the dollar store. And then you need some water. I have water inside of here. So the first thing you would do is you would put just a little bit of cornstarch in your bowl. Now, here's the tricky part. You want to pour the water in really slowly, because if you put it in too fast, it'll get too watery. So I'm going to put a little bit of water in, and I'm going to mix it in with my fingers. And it feels kind of cold and gooey. Now it's still kind of powdery, so I'm going to put just a little bit more. Just a little bit. And I'm going to mix it in with my fingers, and oh, it's getting perfect. Because what's special about this slime is you can pinch it and pick it up, and then once you pick it up, it starts to turn to slime. Now the slime I made in my little bowl, I kept it white because it was just simple to do. But if you happen to have some food coloring in your house, it usually comes in red, yellow, green, or blue, you can tint it whatever color you want. So in my big bowl over here, I made some green slime because that matched the one in the store. And if you watch what I do, I can pick it up and it comes out in a big blob, and the longer I'll hold it, look what happens. It's like the gooey slime from the story. So that's how you know when your slime is ready. If you can pick it up with your hands, and then it slowly starts to goo. Now if you put too much water in it, not a big deal, just add a little more cornstarch to it. If you don't have enough water, add a little bit more water until you get to where you can touch the top and it feels hard, but when you pick it up, it oozes through your fingers. So I think this is a super fun experiment, and the best part is when you're all done, if you let it get off your hands as best you can, if you let your hand dry just a little bit, it'll come off just like a powder, and it won't get all ooey gooey and sticky all over your house like other slimes. I hope you have fun. Thank you for joining us for story time today. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Story time is done today. Hope to see you next Monday. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Bye.